AskReddit. What's something you can't believe you had to explain to another adult? Was tipped a $20 bill to be spilt between myself and a coworker. I handed her $10 I had in my pocket and took the $20. She said it wasn't fair that I had $20 and she only had $10. I tried to explain to her that I already had the $10, so another $10 equaled $20. She couldn't wrap her head around it, insisting I was trying to rip her off. She gave me back the $10, took the $20 to register and made change of two $10 bills. As she hands me mine, I showed her that now I still have $20 and she has $10, but somehow she was satisfied she'd thwarted my attempts to shortchange her. Needless to say, I didn't stay friends with her after that. This is made all the more ridiculous by the fact that she had once told me she was forced to repeat grade 12 math class because she got 100%, and the teacher accused her of cheating. The following year she got 98%. I'm thinking something fishy is going on there. Reminds me of a video where the woman claims something like she would eat an entire pizza cut into 4 slices, but not if it was cut into 8 because 8 is more than 4. The guy kept trying to explain that it's one whole pizza either way. Yes sir, when you sign up for insurance you're agreeing to pay for it. Why a room below sea level on a cruise ship would not have a balcony? A balcony bubble would be pretty cool. Terrifying. Well shit. I want that to exist now. Not when you see a giant squid sucking on the bubble trying to get in. That no matter how much you might want to put a camo pattern on your walls, you, not the paint, have to determine what that pattern looks like, and you will also have to purchase multiple cans of paint tinted differently because camo doesn't come out of a can that way. I once had to explain to a college friend that Indians didn't have spices running in their blood that allows them to eat spicier food. On the contrary, I had a college friend who is Indian and he tried to convince one of our other friends that he did have spices in his blood. I had to explain to my friend that the earth wasn't 2019 years old. Had to explain to my wife that pickles were made of cucumbers. She didn't believe me, still not sure she does. That earth has one moon. The new moon on the calendar every month confused her. It seems that a lot of people have confusion when it comes to the moon. Copying and pasting my story here. I used to be a primary school teacher. We were planning our unit on space, so talking about planets, moons and stars etc. To colleagues of mine, other teachers in their mid-30s, I was early 20s at that point, got really confused when I explained to them the moon wasn't a star, that it was a moon. They paused, looked at each other for a second and just said, "No Sesmet, that's just its name, it's actually a star." I tried explaining the difference, but they were on the senior management team and because I was younger and more junior assumed they knew better. That Halloween has never and will never fall on Friday the 13th. It was my mom. I had to explain to my mother that mussels are meat. A piece of meat was tough, and so I must have said something about what part of the cow the mussel came from. No, we weren't eating mussels, we were eating meat. She was sickened by the concept that anyone would eat mussels. Somehow this got to the point of her claiming that humans didn't have any meat on them because they aren't food. I did not win that argument. Humans have no meat. Meat is not mussels. Period. Oh, it turns out people are not part of the animal kingdom either. It was a dismal childhood. And there comes that stop disrespecting me part when someone younger starts winning an argument. Wait till years down the line when they want you to feel bad for their ignorance. There are more than 6 bones in the human body. She thought it was head, back, arms and legs. Don't bring your dog to work and let her pee poop on the carpet. Tiny poop and little puddles are not okay just because they are tiny. She weighs 4 pounds. He said she's so little it doesn't matter. He said he never even notices at home, and if I had a dog, I'd feel differently. Have a dog. Still don't want urine and feces in my carpet, at home or at work. I worked in a dog-friendly office that didn't any formal policy, so we ended up with dogs that weren't socialized properly, not trained, loud, and owners who let the dogs poop and pee all over the place. And let them sit in on client conference calls. A manager had to remind people that clients came to the office and it was therefore not cool to have poop laying around. Management never did anything and never cleaned the carpets more than once a quarter. This was a major global company, but this local office was a shithole. Literally. My mother told me nobody can live on $40,000 USD a year, and I was unable to get her to understand that it is pretty normal to make $40,000 or less and people do fine with that salary. It's one banana, Michael. What could it cost? $10? When I was a little kid in the 80s, I distinctly remember my mother insisting that, even if you had $1 million, there's no way you could spend it in your lifetime. Granted, we lived in a very low cost of living area, but even I knew at 5 years old that some people had mansions that were worth over $1 million. My theory is that she was told that in the 50s as a child, still wasn't true then, and never updated it. Knowing the depressed local economy I grew up in, and living below the poverty line, I think it was one of those myths people told themselves to feel better about their situation. My friend worked at Office Depot and had to explain to a customer why he couldn't make him photocopies of a $20 bill. Oh, of course you can just photocopy $20 bills. I just slave here answering stupid questions for you because I enjoy the human interaction. Hahaha, when I worked at Office Depot the FBI pulled my drawer after a couple came in. They apparently got the really nice resume paper and were printing 20s. Apparently, Office Depot is where you go for your counterfeiting needs. Well, sir, it's not illegal to serve food that tastes bad. No, this isn't a police issue. Please tell the story of how this happened. It was actually kind of sad. The call was at a restaurant, but he wanted to talk about the nursing home down the road. So I assumed it'd be allegations of abuse. Turns out it was a wheelchair-bound man who wheeled himself to this spot every day from the nursing home because they would only let him eat healthy. They allowed it, just didn't encourage it. So to make him feel better I talked to the admin, and they said they'd have a dietitian come in and see if they could change his diet to add something he likes to the menu. Canada is part of North America. Pretty much anything geography related. Most people are simply terrible at knowing where things are even within their own local regions. Island isn't in the continent of Mexico. Had to explain to someone that islands don't tip over if you put too much weight on the edge. Hey, if you can get enough penguins to dance or jackhammer on the edge, anything is possible. That drinks have caloric content. A co-worker was complaining how she was having trouble losing weight and didn't realize drinking 4 hot chocolates a day was not really conducive to weight loss. I had to explain the same thing to a co-worker. He was wondering why he was still gaining lots of weight even with exercising. I asked about his diet and he ate pretty well and I tracked what he ate. I then saw him on break, downing several bottles of Gatorade and told him that they have a caloric content too. He was amazed and didn't understand that drinks have calories too. He and his wife were drinking only Gatorade, about 5-10 bottles a day each. So that would be 200 calories and 52 grams of sugar per bottle, or 1,200 calories and 260-520 g of sugar per day. The thing is, he went to college for nutrition health. As a server, there are so many times I have to explain to guests that chicken can't be cooked medium rare. I won't get salmonella, this is chicken, not salmon. My dad had like 6 or 7 paid recurring charges for internet porn and a lot of malware on his computer. I had to explain free porn to my 67-year-old dad. So, that was something. I worked as the internet repair guy you get on the phone when you're having trouble briefly. Had a guy insist his internet was broken. All the diagnostics looked fine. Asked the basic router troubleshooting questions. Everything is fine. Finally asked him to just open up Internet Explorer and tell me what happens. He described a common homepage. I explained to him that his internet is working. He says it's not working like it used to, so I assume it's a speed issue and I walk him through a speed test. He's getting what he pays for. Guy still insists internet isn't working. I just ask him what he wants it to do and he blurts out, I just want to look at porn. Turns out his homepage had been set to a porn site for a while and his son had restored the browser to default settings and he couldn't remember the porn site he used to go to. I just had him Google free porn and gave him instructions how to set something as his homepage and how to navigate through a porn site. Best customer I ever had at any job. Make sure to subscribe the channel so we can watch together.